I will show you 10 clever tips and tricks in Python. Let's make a bet. Say, out of these tips and tricks, if you didn't know at least 5 of them before this video, you have to share this video with your friends in Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. That's the bet. Got it? Let's dive into it. So very first thing and the first clever point is, say, a simple terms. You already know that if you want to take an user input, you can take like, okay, give me a number or something like that. Give me numbers or whatever. You can just type it. And after that, very simple, everybody knows that print x. And you run it, I will be run it by using this play button. And it will ask you the give me number. I type 45 and it gives me 45 as an output. But what if I need more than one input? In that case, I can write multiple inputs, but that's layman. But if you are clever, what you can do, you can say like, I will take 2 or 3, or you can do as many as needed, but first try 2. And at the end of your input statement, just type split. So you want to split it, that's it. And here you can just print y as well if you want to get y. And now play this and you say like give me numbers. So you say like first number is maybe 68 and space, your second number is maybe 79. Press enter. You see x and y is entered. So you put a split at the end and you can take as many input as needed. Think about you need like 3 or 4, maybe like a x, y, z, and then p, whatever. And then you can print a z and then print maybe the p. Now I will be taking 4 input, but I just wrote 1 input statement. Play this dude and it's ask for numbers, and I put like maybe like a 12 space 87 45 and maybe like 102. So I put like 4, I entered, all the 4 is logged at the bottom. So clever trick number 1. If you want to get a lot of things in as an input, just put a split at the end and take as many input as needed, just separate them by comma. So this is the number 1. Number 2 clever trick is, say for example, you have like 3 variables. Say for example, number of followers or number of subscription is 2400. Number of likes, I want this video to have like a 200 likes. So like this video right now so that I can hit like a 200 likes, and maybe comment is maybe like a 56 or something like this. Now I'm writing an if statement, that multiple conditions here. So if, say for example, subscription is greater than 150 and likes is greater than say maybe 150 and comment is greater than 50, in that case I want you to do something. So for example, print awesome video, something like this. And in Python you don't need this comma, you can keep it or you can leave it, but anyway, so you have like a 3 4 5 conditions, whatever the number of conditions. And if I play this guy, I see that awesome video as an output. But what if I like 5 6 7 and you need to fulfill all this condition? In that case, one clever trick is you can declare a list. So I will declare a list, maybe I will name it as like a conditions, or you can give any names and put all these conditions there by using a comma separation. So what I will do, at the list do and put is there, and then this is a list, so I can just write multiple lines if I want to. So I will do this, maybe take out this and then put a comma, and then here this is another comma. So now the clever point is, after the if I need to fulfill all these conditions that is there, I only need to write all and then conditions. So you write all and everything inside this condition has to fulfill. That's it. So clever point number 2, if you have like a lot of conditions to be fulfilled, in that case you write the conditions in a list and you need to use all, and that's how you can make sure that all these conditions will be fulfilled. Press enter, you'll see awesome video. So this is clever point number 2. Clever point number 3, in some cases, let's say we go a little bit back, and right now you need to fulfill just one condition. So in that case, you will have like an or, and you have like an or. So that means you need to fulfill at least one. So for example, you said like your subscription has to be 2500. This doesn't fulfill. This has to be maybe number of likes is like 500 and comment is greater than 500. At least comment is greater than 50. So in this case, you don't fulfill this, you don't fulfill this because your likes only 200, but comment is greater than 50. Still, you will see like an awesome video. And you see, you get output as an awesome video. Now, when you have a lot of conditions and you need to fulfill at least one condition, in that case, you can do the same thing, put all the conditions in a list. Maybe this is checkers or whatever. You can give any name, and inside this you do this, and instead of or, since we are creating a list, so we'll make a comma, and then we do here we do this a comma. So we have like 3 conditions, and here we will type any. That means if you meet any, and that should be good enough. So we have like a checkers, we do this and we play this guy, and you still get like an awesome video as the output. So this is our clever number point 3, that if you have a lot of conditions, you can put them all in a list, and if you fulfill at least one, you will still execute it. So your code would be much more cleaner. So clever point number 4, and I want to make it a little bit easier for you. Let's say I have 2 variables here. One is subs with number of subscription and number of likes. What I want to do is I want to switch it. That means the value of the variable subs will go to the likes, and value of this variable will go to here. They will cross check. So you can do like a print before, and the first value is number of subs and second value is number of likes. And you can just play this, and you see like this is the value, and we want to switch it. So one traditional way is to do like a temp. You declare a temp variable and you store the value of subs into the temp variable. That means the subs value is stored in the temp. Now you can put anything in the subs. So what we will put like a subs is equals to likes. So likes it switch, they are inside the subs, and we'll do the likes equals to our temp. And this is pretty much everybody knows. And now if you print subs and then the likes, now you are just already switched the values and output it, the value should switch. So you do this and you will see like always in the both cases you have subs in the first, you are logging here, and likes is the second, but the value switch like here. So this is like 3 lines of code. You can do it this way, but there is a simple way. Most of you guys might already know it, but I want to give you some point as well. So here you can just like subs comma likes is equals to likes comma subs. So this is like swapping. So whatever in the first values will set here, that means the value of likes will set to the subs and value of subs will set to the like. That's it. So you might know this clever trick. This is number 4. We hit the play button and it's switched. So tell me how many of you already knew before and how many you just learned. Number 5 is very simple. So for example, I have a list, and a list has bunch of numbers, and you could say like a lot of numbers here, and you might see some, you might don't see some, but anyway you'll see a lot of numbers, and you can obviously think there could be a lot of duplicates here in this list. So what we have to do here is to take out the duplicate, and there are few ways you can do it. And one simple way is to you just loop through, create another list and insert it if it is already exists there, and all this blah blah blah. But I will show you the clever way of doing it. And clever way, say for example here your list A, and maybe we can do a print before. So make sure this is the print of A, and we see print it at the bottom, we see like a huge list, and we want to remove the duplicate, and the way we will do it is very simple way. We would like to convert this list to a set, because we know set is very unique, and then eventually convert it to a list again. So this would be list, eventually in between this would be set and A. So we are taking the list A, converting to a set. We know set would be unique, and then converting to a list again. So it's very clever way, but this works all the time. Like we run it here, and you see now the second output doesn't have any duplicate. All the unique values are there. So this is clever step number 5, where you can easily use set and list to remove all the duplicate from here. Clever point number 6. Let's say you have the same list, but you have like bunch of numbers duplicates, and this time you want to know which number is repeated maximum number of times. That means which number, say for example number 6 appears most of the time, then we want to get 6. We don't know yet, so we need to figure out. In that case we can use the same thing, but here we will use a little bit different. Maybe we'll name it different, say like most repeated or something like this, and we want to get that guy his output, and we use like max because we want to like a maximum number of repeated times. And here we'll say like we'll still convert to a set, but here all we will do that we will use a key, and that key would be a dot count. So we will use the count as a key and then get the max. Let's do that, and then we run this. In that case we'll see 2. That means that these 2 was repeated maximum number of time. If you look into it, here 2 is repeated 4 times, like here, 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 and 1 is repeated maybe 3 times. Maybe we inject few more ones, and let's see our code works, and then maybe 1 at the end or anywhere else it will work. So we run it. Now you get like 1 as an output because this is repeated most. So it's clever point number 6. To get the most repeated elements in a list, use the set and use the key as the count, and then get the max. So clever point number 7. Keep a count yourself that how many you knew before. If you didn't knew at least 5, you have to share this video with your friends in Facebook or Twitter. Keep that in mind. We had this bet. So we'll go to like number 7. So for example, I have a simple list, or maybe I want to create a list, and this would be number of square of odd numbers. So for example, we say like an odd squares, and this is the list, and we want to find squares of only the odd numbers. We'll ignore the even number. So we can do a very nice way. So like a for maybe I in range, we create a range of numbers, maybe until 11 or somewhere, and if I, and if we divide it by 2 and check out the modulus equals to 1, and this is the way we know this certain number is odd because it has some remainder, and then we will append to the odd squares. This is the common way of doing it, odd square then append, and what we will append, that I to the power 2. And if we do this, and after this we can print odd squares, and you'll see at the bottom output, once I run it, you'll see that I have like 1, 9, 25, 49, 81. That means it took the all odd numbers 1, 3, 5 and squares it. So this is like a lot of lines of code. I can do even very simple way. So for example, here I will do take out here, so for example odd squares, and equals to this odd square would be a very nice way. I will create a list for sure. So inside the list, all I will do that, okay, I will need to square of I, that's good, but where I will get the I, this will be for I in range. That means everything I'm writing in one line, and then if the condition is here, I modulus 2 is equals to 1. That means you can write everything clamped into one single line of subcode, and let's comment out these dots. That means like you only have this, and if this works, and you have the whole 3-4 lines of code clamped into one line in a very clever or smarter way, whatever you call, and you see you get the same output 1, 9, 25. So this is called like a list comprehension, or whatever you want to call. You can put a multiple level of if else and a whole for loop inside a list. So this was your clever point number 7. Clever point number 8. So let's say you want to declare a function like a function, and this is like a sum, and you're taking 2 parameter a, b, and then inside this you have a result, and result equals to 0, and you want to return a plus b, which is very nice. Now you can call from here is to say like a sum 2 and 3, and you can put it any value, say maybe result or something, and then you can print it. So this everybody knows. And now a special case, let's see, it's works nicely. So we have 2 3, that should gives us like a 5 as an output. So it does gives us 5, but that's not the point is that you came into the point that you want user to insert as many numbers as they want. So it doesn't have to be 2, it doesn't have to be 3 or 4 or 5, it could be any number. In that case, you can do a little bit clever here, is that instead of a, you can write here, instead of a, you can just write star a. In that case, inside it, you can enter as many numbers as you want. We'll show it in a minute. So all we'll do like a for I in a, and now you will go result is equals to whatever the result before, maybe equals to result, a previous result plus I, and then you will return from here is the result. So now if you definitely pass 2 and 3, in that case you'll get 5, but if you do like another 5, you will get output as a 10, you like maybe like another 500. Let's see, you can put like any numbers of parameter. So if you want to deal with any number of parameters, maybe another put like an 870, whatever the case, you can make your parameter takes any number of parameters, but it's not a list, it's not a set, it's just single parameter, but you put a star in front of it. Now you can pass as many parameters as you want. So this is clever point number 8. So clever point number 9. And most of you guys might already know it. And say, for example, I have a name, and an awesome, fantastic name is Kim Kardashians or whatever the name. And you want to reverse it. We'll print maybe the name. Right now, if you don't reverse it, it's like just Kim Kardashians, you can see. And to reverse it, you don't need to do much. All you need to do is to put a third bracket and slice it. That means like 2 colon and then -1. That's it. It would be a reverse right on the spot. You don't need to do anything else. And do this, you see, like in the reverse way, Kim Kardashians. So reverse it, this. Some people might know half of it, or this is it, but we are counting that how many you knew before and you didn't knew before. So this is number 9. And number 10, you can check palindrome. Palindrome means like if you have a word and you reverse in it the same way, it becomes a palindrome. So for example, here, if I say the word is I, and if you go this way or read that way, it still says I, or wow, or like there is similar word like madam. These are palindrome. If you read this way or that way, they spells the same. And to check palindrome, like is palindrome or something like this, is palindrome, all you need to do is a very simple thing. So we will do like an is palindrome, there we will just put it in as the output. But all we need to do is very simple. We'll do like a name, and then inside the name we would like to find it in the name. And what we'll find name and the reverse of it that we learned just few minutes ago. So in the name, and then we'll do -1, and if it exists, it will match exactly the same locations, and its index would be 0. So equals to 0. That's it. So in one line, you can do check whether a number is palindrome or not. So we will see the output here, and we run this guy, and here we get like true as an output because this is a palindrome. So we like a madami, and this is not a palindrome anymore, because if you goes this way, E is the last. If you reverse it, it doesn't like it. If you mirror it, it's not exactly the same. And do this, and this should show you the false. And you do any other palindrome like wow or I or those kind of thing, it becomes true. So clever point number 10 is to check palindrome. You can check it one single line. Just you will look for the reverse of the word in the same word, and if the index is 0, and you know this is a palindrome. So Tell me in the comment below that how many of these clever ways of doing little bit Python snippet you knew before. If you learned 5 new things from this video, then you have to share this video with your friends, and don't forget to like this video and definitely subscribe to this channel to learn all these nice, awesome and clever ways so that you can show off your skills to your friends. That's it from this video. See you in the next one.